evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Rebel Wrap Up. I'm your host, Lauren Hunter, filling in tonight for BKP, and we are here broadcasting live from the circuit world of Blue Ridge. Now, on the couch with me tonight, I have some of the usual suspects. I have head coach Chad Cheatham of the Fannin Rebels. Then I have defensive coordinator Adam Turner. Thank you for joining us tonight, Coach. And then we have offensive lineman Mason Bundy and Miles Johnson. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good, everything.
Doing great. You're doing great. Well, I want to say, of course, before we get any further, thank you to Circuit World for letting us broadcast from here, and then thank you to Papa's Pizza to Go and Pepsi for providing the delicious food and beverages. I know these guys definitely appreciate it. So we're going to get started here, and guys, tough loss on Friday night against the Union Panthers. Coach Cheatham, let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. What happened on Friday night? I mean, we respect you guys. We know that y'all are good football team.
A lot of it was that we made a lot of mistakes on that were unusual for us that we usually don't make, especially offensively. And we played behind the chains. We weren't on schedule as far as our first down. We were in second and long a lot of times, and holding penalties. We had some personal fouls. We had some other things like that just kind of set us back. We couldn't get in rhythm. We didn't throw the ball as well as we had been, got more pressure, obviously because they're a very good football team, and they did a good job scheming us up. But, it's one of those things where I felt like we were in the game right to the very end with 4 minutes left. It was 20-14. We had the football, had a chance to drive and possibly do something there. But it didn't happen. I think you got to learn from it. You just got to keep pushing.
Exactly right. Coach Turner, do you have anything that you want to add to that?
Well, I mean, they're really good offensively. We knew that going in. I mean, they got a great scheme over there. They get their yards. I mean, defensively we played okay. We got some stops that we wanted to get. Got them off the field. To give our offense a chance. Several times, but we. When it came down to the end, we just couldn't, they got another big play on us and got up a couple scores, and, by that point it was so late in the game, and, we got to learn to make plays like that.
How about you guys? Have anything that you want to add?
I think we could execute some things a little bit better, especially on the offensive line. Came in maybe more prepared. They're a good football team, the best football team we've seen so far, by far. But I think for sure, if anything, this is going to help us for this week going against Chestatee. They bring a lot of guys in the box like Union did on us last week. So we're just getting prepared and getting ready for this week.
I think we got gassed fast too. That was a good point. That was a major issue.
Yeah. So speaking about getting ready for next week, Coach Cheatham, we'll start with you. I mean, what have you taken from maybe watching film of the game on Friday night? What have you taken from that and said, okay, this is what we need to work on for this coming week?
Well, I think that every week you try to cover the fundamentals and keep the main thing, and you don't try to change too much. You try to forget what happened and push forward to a good opponent and focus on what they're doing. Obviously, we had to focus on ourselves some on Monday because we had some errors that we had to correct. And we had good practice then, and we had good practice Tuesday morning. It's just you've got to continue to focus, stay true to your visions, and those type things. And it happens. It happens, and you just got to keep working. You can't take a step back or say we could have this, we could have done that. You got to forget it. You got to move on.
That's exactly right. And we won't, we're not going to dwell on that too long, but with a strong team, especially such as yourselves, as the Fannin Rebels, there are always some positives in every game. So we're going to talk about that a little bit with some of the stats and stuff. But on offense, Traylon Owensby carried for around 100 yards. Quarterback Luke Holloway completed 13 for 22 passes for 142 yards. Kahutta Hyde with around 100 yards receiving. And Will Mosley, who we'll have over there on with us in just a minute, had around 60 rushing yards. So, tell us a little bit about the positives.
Yeah, I mean, when you watch film, it's never as good as it seems, never as bad as it seems. You can't see everything on Friday night because it's just such a whirlwind and things are going so fast. So when you look at film, you see a lot of kids playing hard and playing to the whistle, even though they were gassed a little bit. They didn't give up. They didn't give in. We did execute defensively pretty well. I think they punted four times, and they hadn't punted it at all. And we felt like if we could make them punt, get off the field a couple times, we could we could capitalize on offense, and it just didn't happen the way we wanted to until the second half. But our kids continue to play hard and prepare well and be excited and things like that. So that's the positive. Is it wasn't from lack of effort at all. It was not from lack of effort.
Yeah, you guys played hard.
It was from lack of execution and just making the mistakes. And the first thing I tell them is, team makes fewest mistakes going to win a football game.
There you go. And guys, y'all knew going into this game that you were going to be playing an incredible Union County offense. So tell us, or defense. So tell us a little bit how you worked to get ready for that challenge, especially since, like you guys said earlier, you knew Union was going to be the best team you'd seen so far.
We went harder at practice for sure. We were waking up at 4:40 in the morning to get out there
I
on the
remember
field
seeing
by 5:30.
something about that.
We went a lot harder than we normally have. We knew this was going to be a competition, and we were preparing ourselves for it as best as we could.
Yeah. Miles?
I think, like he said, we did wake up early. We were ready to go this week, I felt like, for the most part. But we just, there were some things we can do as far as execution-wise that we didn't do quite as well. And there's a few things we need to work on that would change the ball game, the perspective of it. But, I'm past that now, and we're on the next week.
One of the bigger things that we talked about this week is I want to see our guys play with a lot more energy and enthusiasm. I thought we were a little bit flat coming out, and a lot of that has to do with the heat and stress and pressure and things like that. There was a lot of pressure on us. Last year we didn't play very well at all, and it was a shootout on their part. We didn't stop them. We didn't do anything offensively. I think we put a little bit too much pressure on ourselves, and that hurts sometimes when you really press, and you can't relax and just get in the game and flow. So I want to see them to relax a little bit, have fun, play, fly around, and what happens. You just live with it and move on.
That's right. Yeah, and you guys, when you went into the half, Union was ahead by 13. Then you come back out of the half and scored 2 touchdowns, like you said earlier, one around 8 minutes and one around 4 minutes, if I'm remembering correctly. Coach Cheatham, what do you tell the guys when you go into the half? And you're talking about energy and everything. Is it hype in the locker room when you go in?
It was pretty hype as far as myself is concerned. I didn't talk a whole lot about football. I talked about the measure of a man, the character of a man, is what you do when things are not going your way, when things are tough and things are difficult. True measure of man comes in when there are times of crisis and you're behind, and that's true with life too. And that's what I challenged them with at halftime. Said the same thing at the end of the game, and I didn't make that up. That's a quote from Martin Luther King Jr. That I love very much, and from one of his speeches. But I think it was absolutely true for us, and they did respond to that. They did respond and picked it up, even though they were tired, we were cramping and things like that. Played a lot fresher and a lot crisper in the second half than we did the first half.
Yeah. Wish I could have been at that game, man, but it was awesome. And guys, how about y'all, talking about Coach Cheatham giving you the speech, measure of a man, the coaches can encourage you as much as they want to. But what do you guys do when you're in the locker room and rallying around your teammates? What do y'all have to say to yourselves or to get yourselves hyped for the second half?
For me, a lot of times I gotta find something to fight for. There's something you gotta find within yourself to be the reason why, whether it's your brother you're playing with or just any other reason. So, that's why I try to tell somebody if they look like they're not really wanting to play or something's wrong with them. You gotta find something to fight for or something to play for. So,
I always go into the half just waiting to hear what Coach Cheatham has to say.
He's got good speeches, doesn't he?
Oh, yes.
He does a great job.
I've seen some of them on video, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to listen to this before I go work out or something and get me motivated.
I love what he has to say. That's what picks me up at halftime.
Yeah.
And the thing is, everything relates back to life.
Mm-hmm.
And if one of these days football will be gone, but we all have to live life, and it's not always going to be in the ease and comfort of life. There's going to be tough times. What are you going to do when crisis hits? Nick Saban said the true measure of a leader is what you do in times of crisis. So that's what we try to teach at halftime, and our kids respond.
You're exactly right, Coach. These guys right here, You guys are you both seniors? Or
I'm a senior, he's junior.
Senior and junior. All right, so they're about to graduate.
They're big for their age.
But you guys are right, and you guys don't. You may or may not realize it now, but and I talk as though I've lived so long, but you're about to graduate high school, and then you're going on into college, so you're right on the edge of your life. So you're exactly right, Coach. I mean, all of these things that you're telling them, they're going to be taking on into the rest of their
We
life.
hope so. That's our mission, our vision, our goal is to do that. We love them, and that's our goal.
Yeah, I can tell. There's a lot just in the little bit of involvement I've had with you guys over a short period of time. I can tell how Fannin is a family. Basically, the team is a family.
Whole system, all athletic programs, very good.
Exactly, and from the youth level up, I mean, I can see that hype and that excitement for all of you guys. So definitely looking forward to more of that in the future. Now we'll switch over to defense real quick before we go to the break. But overall, the Rebels racked up 44 solo tackles and 37 assists. So it's the second most in this game for solo tackles, and then the most for assists. So you guys had a great game on defense as well. So Coach Turner, just to round things off, how do you encourage, or what do you guys work on with defense to get ready for a team like Union?
Well, we got to, because they're very good at the skill positions. We have to be able to make open field tackles. We have to be able to contain that mobile athletic quarterbacks. We'll have to do the same thing this week. The Union was, basically we almost got a carbon copy coming up this week, but we really have to focus on, containing athletic guys and rallying to the ball, get more than one hat to the ball and get them on the ground. So that's kind of how we approach, we play games like this. So.
Yeah. Well, great. Thanks, Coach. And we'll be talking about that Chestatee game a little bit more in the next segment. So when we come back, everyone, Mason is going to be leaving us, unfortunately, but we have Will Mosley joining us for the second segment. Again, we want to thank Circuit World of Blue Ridge for allowing us to host here. And when we come back, we will be talking more about this upcoming Chestatee game this Friday night. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more of Rebel Wrap Up.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff. Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ellen, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of Rebel Wrap Up. I'm Lauren Hunter, hosting here tonight, filling in for BKP as he is out of town. But don't worry, everybody, BKP will be back next week. He can't stay away too long. But we are broadcasting live from the Circuit World of Blue Ridge, and we want to say thank you to Circuit World as well as Papa's Pizza and Pepsi for providing us with delicious food and beverages. So when we were in the first segment, guys, we were talking about, oh, and by the way, we have Will Mosley joining us on the couch now. And Mason didn't want to leave. We wanted to keep him around. So we're all packed in here on the big comfy couch. That's what I was saying before we came back. But we're going to move on. We're going to be talking about this Friday night. So you guys are going down to Gainesville to face the Chestatee War Eagles in the last non-region game of the season.
That's right.
And by the way, this may be in my lineup somewhere, I can't remember, but it's hard to believe that we're already in week 5 of football.
Yeah, we're fixing to play 2 scrimmages. We played 3, so that's 5. This will be game 6.
Game 6.
Technically game 6 for us.
Wild. I cannot believe that it's going by so fast. But last season, y'all won against Chestatee 45-42.
No, we got beat Chestatee 45-42.
Oh,
Yeah, we had it. We were 28-3 early, and Christian Charles kind of took over, and we had a 4th down and about 2 that we didn't convert on. We were ahead at that time at 42 to whatever it was, 38, and we had a 4th and 2, and we tried to throw slant ball and we missed it, and we gave them the ball back with about 45 seconds, and they ended up beating us in the end.
Well, this is definitely a game that's fresh on the memory then, isn't it?
Yeah, this is one of those that is kind of big. It sticks with you for a long time, sticks with you for a year. The deficit that they overcame to win the football game and us allowing, we went in pretty confident at halftime. And then he kind of took over. He's a great player. We got to defend him again.
Mm-hmm. Now this is a team that's they're kind of sneaky good.
Yeah, they're sneaky good.
They're sneaky good. Like they almost came back to be region opponent for y'all, Dawson County, in overtime. So they're definitely showing some more potential this year with some of the athletes that they have, especially that quarterback down there. So with that being said, what is the number one thing on your mind right now, Coach Cheatham, to take on?
We've got to stop number 3. There's no doubt. If we can stop number 3, keep him in the box, and keep that number 15, a good receiver, get so many touches. If he throws the ball and he throws it well, but what we're really worried about is him using his feet. If we can get some stops, get off the field, and I feel like our offense can execute, not make mistakes, not make the same penalties or mistakes we made last week. We got a chance in the football game. If we allow them to hang around and do what they do and he gets comfortable, then we're going to be in a dogfight again.
There you go. Coach Turner. There you are down there. What are you guys working on defense tonight specifically too?
Well, I mean, it's kind of a repeat game plan from last week. You know, we kind of do the same things. You know, we got an athletic quarterback, got some athletes in space. You know, we got to be able to. You know, I mean, like Coach Cheatham says, we have to be able to. We want to keep number 3 in the cup. You know, not letting him get out. You know, not letting him get any kind of outside leverage on us because he's got some pretty good wheels on him, and we got to keep him in that cup. And when we can get a shot on him, we need to get a shot on him. You know, we hope we just we can knock him around a little bit and maybe try to rattle him or something because he does throw a pretty good ball. But between the 2, run and pass, I mean, obviously him running around with it is by far the biggest concern, and we got to be able to keep him. Keep him contained. So that's the biggest. That's what we worked on mostly this week.
Right. And Coach Cheatham, are there any sort of adjustments that you're going to be planning to make before this weekend? And then the week after that, region play starts up. So.
Well, now if I told you that on the camera, then somebody else would know, right? No, we obviously are game planning to, like Coach said, to keep that guy contained and keep him from hurting us with our feet. Offensively, they move around a lot. They blitz backers. They give us a bunch of different fronts. So we've got to be able to recognize that, get ourselves out of a bad play, using our quarterback and our backs and receivers, and let our offensive line continue to have that confidence with a big push and things like that. But there's always things that you can do different. We're going to do some different things, and we'll see if it's effective or not.
There you go. All right, guys, I'm going to bring it back to the 3 of you sitting down here on the end of the couch. So I'm going to pull a BKP question out of my back pocket. So Miles, we'll start down there with you. And what is something that you have taken? Maybe you picked it out from this past Friday night, or maybe you picked it out from the season, so far, and said, okay, this is what I'm going to take, and this is what I'm going to work on. And how are you going to?
This week, I've just been working on technique a lot, working on getting my hands inside. And as far as plays, where I need to push the guy or what I need to do, just little small things, working on that. Just anything I can do, really, just help my team get better.
There you go. How about you, Mason?
I've been working on my first step a lot, making sure I don't lean too much and be able to get pulled down or fall whenever I try to make a block. I fell a little bit at Union County more than I'd like to. It's kind of embarrassing, but I worked on it this week.
At least you can. Hey, the first step to fixing a problem is admitting it, right?
I mean, I pulled a few good slides. Looked kind of cool on film.
Yeah.
But as far as assignment, it didn't look as cool.
Well, good. And Will, glad to have you here on the show with us now, joining us in the second segment. What are you planning to take on
really
this
just
week?
Executing assignments and open field tackling. We got to get this guy down.
Mm-hmm.
He's good.
Yeah. And I guess as a defense, how are you guys? I want to ask this question as well. How are you guys coming together so far this season? Are you guys?
I think we're doing well.
Mm-hmm.
All together, it feels like we're just better, especially in the defensive backfield. And it seems like everybody knows what they're supposed to do, just about every play.
Yeah. And Coach Turner.
I just off what Mosley says. We have gelled together pretty good. We do have some quality subs. We rotate these big guys in on the defensive line when needed. They played very well for us. But overall, scheme wise, we have done a real good job. Identifying things and that we look for against the opposing offense and. Pointing it out, and calling out, that we're, I feel like our guys are well prepared, and I've been real proud of them, so far this year.
Yeah, and Coach Cheatham, how are you feeling that the team as a whole is coming together so far? Because being halfway through the season already, that's hard. It's just
I love them. I love the feel of our team, and I love their work ethic. I love these kids. We have. I don't know. A lot of people don't see it. We fought through some adversity. Jalen's been sick. He's been out, and that's a big, offensively and defensively. Defensive end. Jalen's is still having some issues. He won't be back probably till the end of the month. We had Dalton Ross at defensive end who had some sickness. We had 2 key guys out today with stomach virus. So, we're the flu bug has bitten us pretty good, and so we're having to kind of overcome that. That's what this team's MO is just to adapt and overcome, keep the energy positive, and pick each other up and keep executing.
Yeah, is that like y'all's? I always like to pick out something when I do these shows. Is that like y'all's motto, adapt and overcome?
Yeah, I think our motto is probably Gus, get you some.
Oh, that's true.
And
I love that one.
That came from a couple years ago in a summer camp that we got a kind of little scuffle in, and I made the statement then, and it's kind of stuck. But yeah, that is family, and Gus, and just hard work and things like that. I think that's the MO of the team.
Yeah. Now, guys, I'll bring you guys back in again. From an offensive standpoint, how are you guys coming together and doing so far through the season?
I think we're doing great. I feel like we have personnel, a lot of personnel from last year. We have a lot of veterans on the team. There's starting offense too, especially. I think we're doing great. There's not much improvement, but I think we could. There's always room for improvement, but I think we're doing good compared to where we were last year. Mm-hmm. I think we'll do great as the season goes on.
Miles, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah. I feel like this year we're, as far as my 4 years I've been in high school, this is the most trustworthy and together as an offensive unit that we've been. Everybody knows what everybody's going to do. Everybody trusts that they're going to do the right job. and we just got confidence about each other that I really hadn't ever seen. So, I mean, if I'm going to choose most trust in any team I've been part of, it's going to be this one. So,
Now, you're a junior.
senior.
I'm sorry. I keep
We wish it
getting-
was junior.
We keep getting-
Amen to that.
Junior, we was junior, sophomore, junior now, but it goes senior, junior, senior.
Senior. Okay, so for you two guys that are the seniors, how have you seen this team sort of change over the last few years?
Well, as far as me, how I've seen it, the first 2 years we had a different coach in here, and it was a whole different system, whole different way you went about your business than it is the past 2 years.
Really
coaching.
immature, to be honest.
And I feel like nobody was really together at that time. But I mean, first year he comes in, I said this last year on the show. You just see something starting to come together, and I mean this year we know it. Everybody knows everybody. He's here. We're all adapted to him.
You gotta get adapted to it.
And I mean it's something different, and it's fun to go out and practice. It's fun to go out and play for him, and it's just something different.
Yeah. Football is fun. Wasn't that in Remember the Titans?
Zero fun, sir.
Yeah, zero fun, sir. All right, everyone. So with that, we're going to have to wrap up, Rebel wrap up for the night. Again, I want to say thank you to Circuit World of Blue Ridge for allowing us to host the show here tonight and every week as well. And again, BKP will be back to finish hosting next week as well. So don't y'all get upset. I know you guys miss BKP. He will. I know I'm not quite BKP. He will be back next week. And make sure to tune in on Monday mornings at 10:10 a.m. I host my own sports show, Instant Replay, on Facebook, on Team FYN Sports Facebook page. You definitely don't want to miss that because we'll be talking about these guys and their game against the Chestatee War Eagles on Friday night. So, guys, good luck this Friday night.
Thank you.
Appreciate you having us.
Of course. And like I said, I'm going to try to sneak out there today. I'm going to try to sneak out there on Friday night so I can watch you guys play because I've been hearing about you guys. You know, y'all are a great team, a strong team, and there's going to be great things going for y'all in the future, too.
Thank you.
So, anyway, with that being said, also thank you to Papa's Pizza to Go and Pepsi for providing the food and beverages. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, Wednesday night at 7 o'clock here at Circuit World Blue Ridge. Good night, everyone.